So, this is a good conversation tonight regarding AI. I want to talk about Open AI, and I want to also share with you how Open AI started out as an investment to individuals to get residual income from the public support system and to now a closed profit. It goes with the right to trust, just like trusting a friend. The importance is how safe is your information going to be? When a nonprofit begins a process that starts out with a mission and then changes its agenda midstream, it's hard to really trust. According to statistics and research in 2024, OpenAI has abandoned what it originally promised its consumers. And it's supposed to be an open source for investors. Now it's a closed market to those for a reason. So we'll eventually know what those reasons are, but let's get into some actual facts today. When we fail to trust a factor, there are transitions of transparency that closes the source and opportunity. We start to begin to look at what's really going on. So that's one way that we want to look at AI in today's society. Now, when we're streamlining who can participate in the purchase of the stocks and investments from OpenAI, capping it off at a calling to public interest, that is a breach in itself. That is something that we have to wonder. So, looking at the OpenAI go from the public platform to closed investors, that becomes a problem for me because it's not as clear as it should be. So let's look at Chat GPT-4. The training data, the architecture secrets, Microsoft partnerships in 2019, it capped the profit driven commercial pressure. That's what happened. So, how much information that AI is going to have access to that OpenAI is going to use to collect their data? Where does the Privacy Act come in? Where are the safety measures on this research regarding competency? Companies within the OpenAI system, how much are they going to be accountable and responsible for the Chat GPT-4 child that is getting ready to become fatherless in this industry known as Open Arena for those to tap into uncontrolled, unmoral techniques that anyone can find or create? And this is data that I'm talking about. OpenAI safety team scandal. Let's look at the 2024 employees complaining that OpenAI prioritized the flashy products, the beautiful way things can, green screen itself from the original content to the actual safety. That's more important and more valued. So, who owns rights to intellectual property within OpenAI? How does OpenAI and its investors have the right to make money solely off of what society creates, then block society from becoming an interest bearing right to the residual? And I know I said that before, but making it easier to sell when it comes to a $1 billion baby to the highest bidder. That's what it looks like. It looks like OpenAI is going in that direction. Who has absolutely no competitors. When you become the $1 billion baby, you don't have too many competitors. Now GPT becomes that fatherless child, running rampant through the world, causing havoc and chaos. And this is what the industry was trying to prevent: AI, making them be more prioritized over safety of data than the products that they're hurrying up to demonstrate to the world to become the leader and move humans out of the way. That's one other topic that we need to discuss. That's going to be another topic later. But OpenAI signed, you know, restrictive non disclosure agreements preventing anyone from warning regulators about the risks of this information. So, how much of this content will be considered a breach of contract towards its users? How much information is going to be competitive for content creation? And how much is AI going to give credit to for those creating contractors who are really using creative expression? As we know, AI is making music and no one is getting ownership claim. They're just making self-help videos with data created from real individuals' lives and their stories, and they're just racking up the views, being put high on the algorithm because they hold the highest bidding amount of viewers. Not fair, because they're not having to be copywritten for their data, and they're just exclusively pulling and removing the human. Not a good fit. Not a good fit for me. And let's also look at the black box problem. We talked about this last week, and their training and data safety evaluations, and researchers are not being able to fix these biases, the hallucinations, or the unethical outputs of their information, and nobody's being accountable for that. Shutting down pages that have exclusive access to the market with AI bottled voices. It also shows us clearly how the algorithm is favoring AI creators without having done the work. The generator establishes a video within minutes that puts you in any position you want to be. So we don't know what's real and what's not. That is a criteria of bias that could really harm the world. Do they give credit to where they receive their information? Because humans actually do this work. Yet AI gets hundreds of thousands of views, making monetization non-competitive anymore. Knowing very well that OpenAI is the internet guru due to all the data it comprehends from chats we as humans have over the internet since the beginning of internet era, the .com area. Now in college, we had a thing called plagiarism. Let's talk about plagiarism, because at what point does OpenAI have to do MLA and APA standard formats in order for their information to go correct? Where does the information originate? You're saying that the internet is so intelligent that it comes up with all of these ideas, all of this encyclopedia information, all of this historical knowledge, all of this knowledge that comes from experience and expression. That is amazing. I would find it much more transparent to see AI hold the ability to generate information as a copyrighted work. So my thoughts are that ethics and morality must be involved in OpenAI. Otherwise, the AI prompted to give intel can give so much information without intelligence. That's the hard part. Without intelligence, it's just becoming artificial. Make it too artificial for my liking, leading itself away for its original programming. AI is not built around a firewall, someone said to me, and can very well be manipulated in disguise before our eyes. This video content copyright is January 29th, 2026, under the Scales to Success LLC consultation services with Dr. Dorena Shine. Please cite this in any APA format information used for this video. Thank you so much and have a great rest of your day.